Salah.
Kedua.
It starts with you. 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 It starts with you.
Welcome to the Kirklees College Virtual Parent Carer Information Evening. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please type them into chat and we will do our best to answer them at the end of the presentation.
Your hosts for this evening are Julia Arechiga, Vice Principal Curriculum and Innovation, and Pauline Hughes, Assistant Principal Quality and Student Experience.
As a parent carer, we understand it can be quite daunting when your child moves to a new education provider. The aim of this event is to support you in that transition. Our senior leadership team will provide you with information about the college, what a study programme looks like and the support that is available to our young people and how we will keep you informed about their progress. We'll also provide you with information about the wider college and the options available. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, then please type them into chat and we will take the time to answer them at the end of the presentation. This is your opportunity to ask questions.
Kirklees College has 7 centres. 5 are located in and around Huddersfield Town Centre and 2 are in Dewsbury. All centres have access to good public transport links and are self-sufficient, with students rarely having to move between centres.
The college specialises in vocational education, and on screen you can see the 20 different curriculum areas that we offer. Within these curriculum areas are specialist subjects. So for example, within science at level 3, you can choose between medical science, applied science or forensic science. Students choose one subject and study that full time. They don't mix and match as you would with A-levels. Our strength is in our range of provision. We can accommodate students with no GCSEs through to degree and professional level qualifications. This means that enrolment, if students' grades are different to expected, we can adjust their offer accordingly, moving them up a level or down a level, depending on the outcome of their results.
A lot of our subjects have practical elements to them, so we ensure students have access to appropriate teaching areas to reflect industry. On screen are 2 of our salons that are open to the public and our bakery, which is one of 4 kitchens that catering students have access to. The second floor houses the interior of a plane for travel students. Creative students have access to a range of rehearsal spaces and studios. Our specialist centres have facilities to support the delivery of their individual subjects.
Outside of the classroom, we provide environments that continue to support your child's learning. At our Huddersfield Centre, we have a gym that is available to students and free of charge. Students from any centre can access this and staff are always available to help. We also have a range of sports teams that students can participate in. All centres have a refectory where students can access food and drink throughout the day. If you qualify for free school meals, then you may qualify for free college meals as part of the college bursary scheme. We also have comfortable breakout areas with charging points for phones and vending machines. When in college, all students can access the college's Wi-Fi free of charge. Every centre has its own learning resource centre on site with access to computers and core textbooks. Students can borrow a laptop to support their studies if one is not available at home. As a Microsoft Academy, all students can download Microsoft software to their machines free of charge.
Studying at Kirklees College. We work hard to maintain a safe and secure environment for our students. During induction, students are given a copy of the Student Charter and they are asked to sign a Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct helps ensure that our learning environment is safe and enjoyable for everyone. If a student does break any rules, a clear disciplinary procedure is followed. Attendance and progress are carefully monitored, and we also make sure that students are fully aware of the importance of attending their lessons. Any absences should be recorded through Miss It, Miss Out. In order to communicate with parents effectively, we are holding this evening, there will be future parents' evenings, parent reports, and there is also my student login, which is listed below.
Full-time study programmes. A full-time study programme is made up of the components you can see on the slide. Student timetables may vary depending on the individual course, but they're usually in for approximately 16 hours a week, and we try to timetable this across 3 days. Work placement may take a timetable over more days, and we ensure all students have an opportunity to participate in relevant work experience. If students do not have GCSE grade 4 or above in English and Maths, they will have these lessons built into their timetable. This is a response to government legislation, and it applies to any student irrespective of where they choose to study. Studies have shown that people with their English and Maths GCSEs earn on average £2,000 more per year. All students continue to develop English, Maths and digital skills as part of their study programmes. All students also take part in our tutorial personal development programme, and this includes one-to-one and group discussion and support, and underpins the personal development for our students to become the responsible citizens of the future. On this screen is our employability pledge. At Kirklees College, we have an extensive work experience programme, which alongside the main qualifications will help students develop the employability skills they will need to progress onto an apprenticeship or to work or to university on completion of their studies in college. All students on study programmes will have a minimum of 2 interactions with an employer. These could be visits to the workplace, coming in as guest speakers, or setting live briefs and projects for students to work on. Our impartial careers service is provided by C&K Careers, and they are available to support all students in planning their next steps. Across college, students get to participate in 3 themed weeks: National Apprenticeship Week in February, Employability Week in March to coincide with National Careers Week, and a Higher Education and Skills Week in May to help students learn more about options post-18. To support the personal development of our students, we have a students' union and a wide range of groups that students can choose to attend, and all sorts of opportunities to engage in exciting enrichment activities. Support for students is very important, and at Kirklees College we offer a range of financial support and academic support. We support particularly vulnerable students, and we support with study skill development. We have a very strong pastoral team and safeguarding team to make sure that our students are and feel safe and supported. With our specialist staff teams working right across the college, we offer one-to-one, small group and in-class support for our students with learning difficulties and disabilities.
Apprenticeships. We have some fantastic opportunities at Kirklees College to become an apprentice. We work with hundreds of employers, both nationally and locally, and we offer a vast range of apprenticeship provision in many different types of industries. As you can see, we work with many companies such as Hovis, Foxes, Coca-Cola, Kirklees Council, Huddersfield Town. Also, we have a range of different types of apprenticeships available, such as art and design, business and enterprise, computing and ICT, construction, engineering, hair and beauty, hospitality and catering, motor vehicle, process manufacturing and science. And with each of these curriculum areas, there are different pathways that you can apply for.
Apprenticeships. What are apprenticeships all about? Apprenticeships are an exciting option where you will get hands-on training and also the chance to put your skills into practice, and they are effectively a real paid job. They're available in over 750 different job roles, and they start at level 2, which is equivalent to a GCSE, and they go right up to degree level. They take at least 1 year to complete, but some can take 3 and 4 years, especially in areas such as engineering and construction. So what will you earn? This will depend on the industry, location and type of apprenticeship. You'll be entitled to the apprenticeship rate of pay, which is £5.28 per hour. If you are 19 plus or over and have completed your first year of your apprenticeship, you will be entitled to the national minimum wage. This will be the minimum you will earn, but many employers pay a lot more and offer apprentices a competitive salary. 20% of apprentices' time is spent training off the job, which includes your time at college. Employers pay for this time spent at college, and therefore it is worth noting that attendance is crucial. You earn while you learn, therefore it is a fantastic opportunity for you to succeed in your chosen qualification.
You can start an apprenticeship whether you are starting your career, you want to change your career, or you are upskilling in your current job role, and there are many benefits to doing an apprenticeship. Lifetime benefits associated with gaining an apprenticeship at level 2 and 3 are significant. Level 2 apprentices earn between £48,000 and £74,000 more on average, and level 3 apprentices earn between £77,000 and £117,000 more on average. Apprenticeships increase a young person's productivity and career promotion prospects, and 85% of apprentices say their ability to do the job has improved. 83% of apprentices say their career prospects have improved.
On screen are our 3 college values: kindness, unity and excellence. We'd now like to share a short video with you to show how we embed these values at Kirklees College.
As you open the doors, walk through the corridors, centres and halls, classrooms, theatres, libraries and labs, you can hear it, feel it, touch it, be part of it. Minds working, creativity thriving, dreams being realised, potential recognised. A silence before that eureka moment. Creating opportunities and changing lives for the people we care about and the communities we serve. That doesn't just mean anything to us, it means everything to us. Kindness, unity, excellence, our values mean something. They shape our decisions, our behaviours and our outcomes. We might not know each other well yet, but what we do know is this. Kindness is the foundation that we build on. That's what we build you up from. It's where we start to shape our futures. And unity, it's not just a word, it's a passion. It's how we come together to support each other, sharing our knowledge and celebrating our successes. And when you hear us say excellence, it's not a pressure we put on you. Excellence is a promise we make to you. It's a promise we make to each other. You see, together, we are mighty. Teacher, student, colleague, friend, we all play a part. We cheer each other on. And you may ask what drives us? Well, that's simple. Because in our communities, we're about supporting change and creating opportunities.
Okay, I hope you found that a useful presentation, and the video at the end is brilliant to represent college. If you want to type your questions into chat, we will read them out loud and Julia or Pauline will answer the questions. Just one point, we can't talk in detail about individual support plans for students. If you want further information about your young person's support plan, if you type your contact details into the chat, it is a closed chat and only I can see them, and we will make sure somebody from the support teams gets in touch with you. Right, shall we go to Pauline first for our first set of questions? Are you ready to go, Pauline?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first question is, does my young person have a form tutor?
Yes, so all the young people will have a study programme leader that will be in charge of the programme of study, and they'll also have a key person that will sort of support this pastoral side as well, and they'll be informed of who they are during their enrolment and induction period. So there'll be key people that will be looking after your sons, daughters throughout their learning journey at college.
And we've got somebody that's asked, what is induction? What does that mean?
So induction lasts the first half term. It is a process that lasts over the 6 weeks, but the first 3 days in college, the 6th, 7th and 8th, I think it is, of September, those will be the key induction days, the welcome days, where you will come in and meet the team that you'll be working with, and that you'll get key information. So things like tours of the buildings, because you know you're in a brand new environment and you need to find out, especially at the Waterfront, which is a large campus, where things are. So you'll find out where the library is, where where all the different facilities are. You'll also find the key information to keep yourself safe right at the beginning. So it might be health and safety if you're starting in areas like engineering and construction, where those things are important. So induction can tailor and different to each different departments, but ultimately it will start with quite an intense induction initially, then you'll go into full lessons, but it will continue and there'll be different aspects of induction happening throughout the first half term.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions around uniform. Is there a dress code at college / uniform?
Okay, so some particular curriculum areas have specific uniform for industry, and you'll be fully informed of the uniform requirements at your enrolment period. Those are things like engineering to keep yourself safe in overalls and specialised boots so that you're safe in the environment, and things like hair and beauty so that you're at those industry standards. And there is support for students on low income for help with uniforms, which I think is an important thing to mention. And then there are other areas in college where you're not required to wear a uniform, but obviously we would expect appropriate dress. And that's part of the induction period, and also developing people personally for the world of work and knowing what's appropriate to wear at college and what isn't. But there won't be a set rule, but we do have things like not wearing coats in classes because you get over warm, things of that nature. But that'll all be part of the induction period.
Okay, do students need laptops in class or just for work at home?
Not in class. If they're required in class, they're generally supplied. We have laptop trolleys that can move around with students, and we have classrooms that have fixed laptop and IT facilities. But yes, a number of students, especially at the higher levels, may require IT facilities at home to enable them to do their homework and assessment work.
Okay, can apprentices access all the college facilities, for example, the gym and student support?
Yes, everything is available for every student across the college courses.
Do we have dyslexia support, Pauline?
Yes, we do, and you can continue that and bring the details through from school and what you've received, or you can apply for assessments in college as well.
Okay, and then we've got a few people asking about the college day. Are they in every day of the week? Are they in 9 till 3? Okay,
so every area will independently timetable. So I'm not going to give you a firm structure. It is a definite 9 o'clock start, it is a definite 4 o'clock finish. So they will differentiate. Timetables will be issued following the enrolment period and throughout induction. Generally, we tend to work around those key sort of times between 9 and 4:30, but we do have some areas in engineering that may start as early as 8:30. So you need to wait for your individual timetable that will be issued at the beginning of the welcome meetings at induction.
Okay, we've got a couple of people, Pauline, asking about uniforms. I'm just going to come in and help you there. If it's a substantial cost uniform, so for example, hair and beauty and catering, sports and public services, they are in the process of sending that information out to parents in the next couple of days. And you buy that all through the college because we bulk buy, so it comes at reduction. Anything, if anybody is blocked or worried about the cost of the uniform, then if you talk to us, Student Finance can help you out. Smaller things like boots and equipment are available from the start of term, and there's spares if anybody needs them. And yeah, somebody asked where we buy it from. We buy the main college uniform things for those courses. So Pauline, next one. What date do students start in September?
Right, just before, I'm just going to mention one other thing on uniforms. When we have uniforms in some areas that's a matter of health and safety, those don't have to be purchased, they will be provided. Okay, just to mention that. So sorry, Sally, your question was, when do we
start in September?
So in September, the start of term, induction is the 6th of September onwards. Students will be in for 1 or 2 days that week completing induction, and full timetables will start from the 11th of September. Timetables will be available for view from the 1st of September. So some key dates there.
Okay, I've got one last question for you and then I'll go over to Julia. Is there a parent app?
We have a portal that you'll get login details. We've got a parental guide that will go out to all parents explaining how to do that, and lots of other information that parents will be interested in the support facilities, pastoral support, the gym, etc. So there is a guide that will go out to parents with that information and how you can access the student portal.
Okay, shall we move to Julia? We've got a few questions around enrolment. Okay, Julia. So what happens if results are not as expected? Who do we speak to?
I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, Sally.
Okay, so what happens if results are not as expected? Who do we speak to?
Okay, so students will be emailed an enrolment link out on the day, but if you don't get your grades for their offer, then your enrolment letter that you get will give you instructions, so don't panic. Call our enrolment helpline. The number will be in the enrolment information, and our curriculum team will be able to talk through alternatives either at a lower or a higher level for you.
Okay, and the next one's regarding an apprenticeship. Do they start their work placement straight away or come to college first?
It can vary depending on the area. Sometimes it depends. Some people can already be working in an organisation that they start their apprenticeship with and they're familiar with. Other ones might do a few weeks in college. It really varies, but don't worry about it because we'll be here to support you, and we can edge you into the apprenticeship gently if that's what you're worried about.
And then do we have bus passes at college?
Yes, students can apply for a bus pass and they'll be supported with that.
Do we have anxiety support?
Yes, we do. There is some pastoral support that's available within the curriculum areas. Your teachers can support you, but also we do have a central pastoral team who specialise and will be able to work with you on building up coping techniques, etc., and be able to support you with anxiety, and that's available all the time, all day. So if you have a panic attack in the middle of the day, you need to go to talk to somebody, there's always somebody there that you'll be able to go and speak to.
Thank you. When do courses finish for summer?
Normally, I don't know the exact date, but it's the last week in June. So it's that last Friday in June that we finish.
Okay. Is there any help for my son to find an employer for his apprenticeship?
So you do need to find your own employers. But if you're struggling to source one, then you can work with our apprenticeship recruitment team, and their email address is on our website. and they have information about companies looking for vacancies. But you can't roll on an apprenticeship without an employer. And if you don't secure an employer, then we can look at full-time and alternatives while you continue to look. So don't worry about that.
Okay, we've got a question around health. Actually, there's a few related to this. Do we have medical professionals for emergencies? And what happens if my child falls ill in college?
Okay, we have a central team of first aiders that can help in the first instance. We also do have some more advanced first aiders that can then help, and then we would, you know, if it was an emergency, we would do what you would do anywhere, and we would call 999. If your child fell ill during college, then we would make sure that we wouldn't just send them home. We would have to contact somebody to be able to come and pick them up. So that would be a supportive process, and we would keep them until somebody, you know, is available to do that within, you know, but most parents are normally able to get there within the hour or so.
Okay, does the college day start at 9 AM every day, or does it differ?
It can differ, and as Pauline said earlier, it depends on the curriculum area. So I know in construction they actually start at 8 o'clock in the morning on some courses. In some areas you might not do until 11 o'clock. So it will differ every day and for every programme.
Okay, can I do 2 courses at once?
No, you can't. You would choose one subject and you study that full time.
I've got a few people asking about specific timetables for curriculum, which obviously you can't give at the minute, but can you give a rough guide of how many days a week students are in?
Yeah, timetables will be available to view from the 1st of September, so you can actually find out your timetable from then. But roughly, a student can be in for 3 days a week, 2.5 to 3 days a week in college, but they then may also have a work placement, which could be another day. So a full-time course, you are really over 4 days as a minimum.
Okay, and I'll ask you one more question before we go to Pauline. And it's again a few people asking about their grades and when they enrol. Can you just go through the enrolment information again?
Yes. So when you enrol, students will be emailed an enrolment link on GCSE Results Day, which is the 24th of August. And links will go out throughout the day because that helps us to stagger the traffic on the website so it doesn't crash or anything like that. All enrolment is online and letters are posted out, checking that we have the correct email address for you. You'll get a second letter just before enrolment with instructions how to complete your enrolment. So you're going to get a letter. Do they go out tomorrow, Sally, those letters? Yeah. So a letter will go out tomorrow, and if you don't receive one, then do let us know because we haven't then obviously got the correct email address for you. If you don't get the grades, then on that letter that you receive, there's actually some instructions. So don't panic. Call the enrolment helpline number that's on that letter, and they will help you with enrolment information. There'll be a curriculum team that will be able to talk you through alternatives, and they will offer you some course, and it could either be a higher level or a lower level, but there is a place for you here at Kirklees College.
Okay, shall we move over to Pauline? Thank you, Julia. So the next question we've got, Pauline, is regarding resits, and do I have to resit my maths? And somebody's also asked, can I resit my maths?
Okay, so the maths and English resits take place in November. As we've explained, it's not something Kirklees does solely. Retaking maths and English is something that is a national agenda, and it's because of careers and opportunities being, enhanced if you have your English and maths. So all students that haven't got a grade 4 in English and maths will be studying it as part of their study programme. 16 to 18-year-olds. And then what will happen is we will assess where you are on that journey to that grade 4 in the first half term, and your maths and English tutors will be talking to you to establish who are the best people to take the resits. So not all students will take a resit in November. It may be that you need, the whole academic year, or you might need a couple of years to go on that journey with English and maths and get you up to that level grade 4. And we talk a lot about maths and English skills development for the industries you're going into. So a lot of what you study in English and maths is about developing the skills so that when you go into the jobs that you're interested in, you've got the maths and English skills for those particular jobs. So retakes for some people, not all, but everybody will be studying it who hasn't passed a grade 4 at school.
Okay. Is there support for students wanting to go to university after the 2 years in college and help with UCAS?
Yes, we have a full tutorial programme that allows time and specialist support to enable you to go through the process, apply, develop your personal statements, gather your references. There's also higher education events at college where universities come in, and we also explore our own higher education offer because you can progress on to higher education here at the college as well. So we cover higher education and next steps for all students wanting to do it throughout their programme.
Okay. The next one is, are we able to switch courses throughout the year if we're not happy?
So our induction period allows for an opportunity to really see within the first few weeks if you settle into that course and you've made the right choice. Sorry, excuse me. So ultimately, through the first few weeks, we hope you've made the right choice, but it does give you that opportunity. And if you do feel you've made a wrong choice, then through your key tutor that we talked about earlier, you could be able to have those conversations and look at exploring a change to another course in college. But we want that to happen as swiftly as possible so you don't miss too much course content on the new course. So that needs to happen in the first few weeks, and the tutors and your tutorial will be asking you those questions. Are you happy? Is this the course you wanted to take? Do you want to swap? And we have a process called swap, and there will be a swap week when you're all thinking about that and ensuring you're in the right place to make sure that you're on the road to success.
Okay, and then there's somebody asking around apprenticeships. Is it 1 day a week or block placement?
So again, a variety. Some of our apprenticeships provisions are 1 day, some are block, and some of them, so I'll give you an example of engineering. Engineering apprenticeships can be 3 years. The first year is a big block because the engineering companies don't really want you in the company till you've got some skill to contribute to the company. So you do quite a lot of intense training in year 1. You do less in year 2, and then you'll be on to day release. So you can see the way it's planned is to meet the employer needs. It's to we agree everything that we do with those employers to ensure that we're getting you the right skills so that when you're in the workplace, you're actually contributing to their productivity and making sure that you get a job at the end of it.
Just going back, Pauline, to maths and English resit, there's a few people saying we've got what happens if they fail the resit in November, and are these subjects automatically built into timetables?
Yeah, so maths and English will be part of your study programme. They'll be timetabled in, and if you did your retake in November and you passed it, then you wouldn't have to attend those lessons, but you will have to do some further project work or something that enhances your study programme. So it may be that you do some further enrichment, and for those that don't pass it, they'll continue with those lessons.
Okay, and there's a question, do you need grade 4 in English literature and English language?
One or the other.
And then, do you still need to study English and maths if you meet the entry requirements for a course, even if it's not a grade 4?
Yes. And that's, as I say, it's a government initiative. It's part of our funding regulations, and it's because ultimately higher levels of English and maths tend to lead to, you can get entry level jobs, but if you want to progress and improve your career and income chances and earn more in the future, you're enhanced to do that if you get English and maths.
Okay, so there's one more English and maths question and then we'll go back to Julia. Is one-to-one available for English and maths? And if not, how many students in a group?
Okay, so classes can be up to around 22 as a very maximum, generally around 18. We have tuition fund and we have specialist tutors working with either to small groups as well. So you can get additional maths and English support from the maths and English team in small groups. Sometimes that can be in one-to-ones as well. And that is, you know, something that's offered to all students that are studying it.
Okay, shall we move to Julia? Thank you, Pauline. Just while we're swapping over, if you've typed a question in, if you just want to keep an eye on the chat, some of them I'm answering direct if they're very similar to a question that's already been asked. So question, Julia, is how important is attendance? Do we have minimum attendance standards?
Yes, we do, and attendance is very important. Attendance is around setting high aspirations and getting you ready for the world of employment. We do understand, though, that for some students that attendance could be a little bit lower than for others, but we do have minimum standards and we do expect a minimum of 90% attendance within college. It would be nice if it was more, and we will monitor that, and we will be letting parents know if their young person doesn't attend, but it's more around the wanting and the needing to attend and setting those high aspirations. Okay,
I've got a couple of canteen refectory questions. Is the food halal?
Yes, we have halal offers in all both hot and cold food.
And do we do free college meals? How does that work?
Yes, we do. And again, students would just need to apply for them. They will get them put onto their college card through which they can pay for their meals in the canteen.
Okay, and then is it cashless vending in the refectory?
It's a mixture, so we do have vending. You can use cash or cards in the vending, and then in the actual canteen again, you can pay cash, you can pay card, or if you get free college meals, you'll pay using your college card.
Okay, the one thing with cashless vending for people is we don't operate like schools. I know a lot of schools you can put money on an account and then students play with their finger or their ID badge. We don't do that, but we do accept cash cards, and bursary students have money on their card. I've got a couple of questions. Health and safety provision in animal management. Is there support for students at Taylor Hill?
Yes, we have a lot of support at Taylor Hill. So first of all, you will study health and safety. So it's an integral part of the programme. So you will learn to be responsible for your own health and safety, because that's really, really important. But then all teachers will keep an eye on the health and safety. We have to do risk assessments for all the lessons and all the areas with the animals. And also we have technicians that support. So there's a whole range of health and safety, and it's fully embedded into your programme as well.
Okay, how do I know how my child's doing on their course?
So you will have information. So as a parent or carer, you will be invited to attend parents' evenings to find out about your young person's progress. You'll also be able to log on to the parent portal to view timetables and monitor how your person is doing, how your young person is doing. And in August, we will be sending out a parent carer guide as well. And that will provide you the information how to log on to that parent portal, as well as the information about other services that are available. But also, just, you know, contact us at any time, and any tutor will get back to you and talk to you. We really encourage and welcome parents taking part of their young person's educational journey with us. We would welcome that.
Do I know if my child doesn't attend college?
Yes, you will get to know about that. We do actually send texts out, and we'll send them out on the same day or the morning of or afternoon of them not coming, even if they come in the morning and they don't come back in the afternoon. So you will get a text sent out to you. If there is an attendance problem, and it happens regular, we'll also invite you in with the young person to actually discuss that with you and them.
How many students are in a class?
It varies depending on the curriculum areas, and depending on whether it's a workshop environment where we can't have as many in because of health and safety, what we just spoke about. But really, you can range from anything from about 14, 16 up to 22.
Okay. Are students allowed to leave site in between lessons?
Yes, they're classed as young adults. So they can leave site at any time. The only area where this may differ is if they're coming into our foundation department, but that will be worked with their parent carer as they will have supervised lunch times. But other than that, yes, they can leave site, they can go off, they can buy their lunch in town if that's what they want to do, but yes.
Do students have to come in on days when they don't have lessons?
They don't have to come in on days when they don't have lessons, but they're welcome to, and they can still use our facilities, and they can obviously use our learning centres if they're wanting to work on their coursework.
And how much homework do students get?
It will vary again depending on the curriculum areas, but there will be an informal type of homework which they'll be set, which will help develop their skills. But then there will also be set assignment work, which they'll have set dates that will need submitting in order to pass their course.
Okay, we've got a work placement question. Will there be help to find a work placement close to home? Or will it be in the same area as college as we live a distance away?
No, the work placements we like it if you've got an idea about where you'd like to go, but we'd have to check that out anyway to put on our list of approved employers. But we also have a big bank of employers that we use, and they don't have to be just local to the college. They can be wherever it is that you choose to go. So that's not a problem at all. We'll work with you on that one. You actually have a work experience tutor, and they will work with you on placing you in not only something that's near to you, but something that's right for you, for your personality, for your course, and for your personal requirements.
Okay, and we've got a couple of people asking about buses and transport. Do students qualify for a bus pass?
Yes, they do.
And they can go on the Student Finance website page on our website, and there's more information. Is there any parking spaces for students at Huddersfield?
No, there isn't.
If the public bus is late, will we be marked late?
Yes, you will. So what we would suggest is that if this, we are all human, and we do know that this happens, so don't worry. You're not going to get into trouble if you have a late mark. But if this happened every week, then we would probably be saying, well, you need to catch an earlier bus. So we'll manage that with you, and we'll work with you on that. And your pastoral coach will help you to manage your time and your punctuality.
What's the college's stance on smoking?
Okay, we're a no smoking college. But we do have some areas that are away from the building where students can smoke if they wish. But other than that, on the premises and on close distance to the college, we don't allow that. And that includes vaping.
Is the canteen subsidised / food expensive? With a few questions.
Yes, I mean, you get a bursary and there are meals available for those that get the bursary within that. But the canteen is very reasonable priced, yes.
Okay, and then last question for Julia. Do term time, half-term holidays similar to normal school holidays?
Yes, they fall in line with the Kirklees Community Council schools normal holidays, yes.
The only one that sometimes is slightly different is Calderdale sometimes has a different Easter holiday. So it might be if you live in Calderdale and you've got a child in a Calderdale school, just double checking, but we follow Kirklees. Yes. Right, shall we move to Pauline, please?
Thank you.
Thank you. Pauline, how do we report absence if a child's ill?
So you're going to get some clear instructions around something we call miss it, miss out. And the students will have the information through induction. And as Julia mentioned earlier, we do have an auto text system as well. So when a tutor goes into the class, they mark the register, the first register of the day. If your son or daughter doesn't arrive, then that will automatically trigger a text. So ultimately what the procedure explains is that they have to authorise and let us know they're not coming because they could be poorly, and there's a way to do that, and all that forms part of the first induction day. So they'll be able to share that information with you, and you'll be able to look at the attendance through the portal as well, so you can see exactly when your son and daughter is attending. And sometimes, you know, those buses may not attend, and we get in touch with the bus services as well. We make sure that, you know, if we know there's a particular route that's got a problem, you know, we do know that sometimes it's outside of our students' control and students want to get into college. And then we also need to work with people. So sometimes there may be a barrier as to why you're not wanting to come into college at some stage. And that can be a host of different things. Somebody mentioned, one of the parents mentioned a little bit earlier about anxiety. So what we do in those coaching conversations when we're following up attendance, it's not about, you know, getting people in trouble. It's about finding out what is going on for you. What can we do to make sure that we remove any barriers so that you want to and feel comfortable coming into college, and then you can be successful. It's all about making sure we develop you personally, but get that resilience, you know, remove some of those barriers so that you can be successful on your course. And some students might need more support with that than others.
Right, we've got a few things around safeguarding, Pauline. Do we have a safeguarding team, and how do we support students who are concerned about bullying or threats of violence?
We have a large safeguarding team, and we have a large amount of everybody has a responsibility for safeguarding at Kirklees College, and we have 1,000 staff, but we have specialist teams as well. And ultimately there is a full reporting system and very easy accessible systems for students to report them not feeling safe. They can choose to speak to tutors. They can also use certain, you know, their mobile phones. They can use you know, codes, and they are in a position to report. So where they feel comfortable. There's also a pastoral team that enables people, you know, to go to speak to somebody if they don't feel comfortable talking to one of their teachers. So this will be part of the induction. It's, you know, one of our key priorities to ensure that students understand how to keep themselves safe, make sure they know where to report, feel comfortable reporting, and know what we expect. And safety is a key priority for us.
Thank you, Pauline. I've got somebody. Do we get fined if a young person went on holiday during term time?
We don't. At 16 to 18, there isn't a fine service. Where we do get parents coming to authorise. The main thing within the vocational education is we don't want an impact on success. And with vocational qualifications and skills development, and I'll give you an example, say in hair and beauty, if you miss a certain time in the year and miss a skill session on something particular to be able to, say, cut hair, and you miss a few lessons, then when you come to be assessed, you've not got that skill level. So there's a chance then that you're not going to be able to progress or be able to pass your course and get that job. So it's really critical that people don't miss the time in year. So we don't promote, you know, holidays in year. If there was something that was a special occasion and you want to catch up on your work and you want to talk to your tutor, you can, but we really would ask you to not book holidays in term time. It can have a real negative impact on student success.
Okay, we've got a couple of people asking about work placements and is it compulsory? Do we have a choice around doing it?
So once again, work placement is part of the study programme. So, you know, it's a government agenda, and it's a really good one because it ultimately gets young people into the workplace to really, and we talked about what if we got the wrong course. Well, work placement really helps you to decide. My area of teaching expertise is childcare, and we can get some young people going into childcare, and when they're in the workplace setting, they sort of think, I don't know if this is actually the career for me. So ultimately, it's a really important part. If somebody didn't feel ready or felt that they didn't want to do that straight away, then we'd look at phasing that and maybe build some of your skills, some of your development, you know, in college you know, with your work placement tutor, and then you'd go out when you were ready. But it is an important part of your career. It helps with your CV for going to jobs, helps with being able to answer questions and explain the experience you've had. So it's something that's part of the programme. But if somebody was anxious or felt they weren't ready, we wouldn't be forcing them to do something they didn't feel ready for.
There's a couple of people in how induction differs to main timetable.
Okay, so the key induction dates are the first 3 days in college, which start the 6th, 7th and 8th. And that'll be a full induction day, could be a day and a half for each young person. And then when you go into the full timetable, you will have timetabled sessions that will be over 3 or 4 days, as Julia mentioned earlier. But there may be some induction activity still happening in those lessons. So it may be that tutors in one of the lessons might be talking about all those assessment deadlines. So when all your work needs to be submitted, what kind of assignment should be doing. That'd be forming part of the induction. It may not happen on the first day, but it'll be happening over the first few weeks.
Okay, and then what are the phone regulations and rules in college?
Ultimately, everybody, the majority of people have a mobile phone, I'm sure. We don't want to disrupt learning. So tutors will, you know, ensure that learners are clear about when phones should be switched on and when they should be switched off. And sometimes we use phones in lessons for learning because they're great. They've got apps on them and we can use them to research. So we don't want the phone to be the problem. Sometimes it can be a really good resource and sometimes it's something that can be a distraction. And again, that's the personal development. It's getting people ready to go into the workplace where they won't be able to have a phone. So it's about learning those skills and learning when you need to be able to put it away and can manage that and have that, you know, that personal development and maturity. So tutors will make it clear. If those rules are breached, then obviously we have a behaviour policy, and that will be a conversation again as to why we're breaching those rules. If we end up in a situation that we think that your son or daughter's behaviour is having an impact on their success and it's going to move into quite a problematic stage, then we will be in touch with you really quickly to work together to try and get over some of these barriers of what's, you know, maybe not the kind of behaviour we want to see, but we'll be keeping you informed. We'll work together and I'm sure we'll work through some of those problems.
Okay, if we don't get an apprenticeship but join a full-time course, do we still get to do work experience?
Yeah, you'll do work experience and you can come out of a full-time course in year if you land an apprenticeship and can start that apprenticeship in year. So sometimes it is that you can hop on and hop off. So keep looking for your apprenticeships.
And again, around work placement, how does it work in practice? How many hours do they do?
Approximately 30 hours over the year. It can be more on T-level programmes, on our new T-level programmes. They're longer hours. And again, sometimes it can be a block and sometimes it can be a day release, and it's all personalised to what the employers want and what the curriculum areas inform you with your programme. But you'll be fully informed of that. So it's only 30 hours over. It's not going to be every week. It's going to be at some time over the year.
Okay, and then there's again, how do we accommodate religious holidays?
So ultimately, again, we'll inform you as to when we can have time off. We've just had Eve recently, and we will make provision for some of the celebrations, and then some we just take authorised. So you'll get all the information through your tutorials, and it'll be explained of how you can manage that.
Got a couple of questions around apprenticeships, and then I'll go back to Julia. If students on an apprenticeship, does this work term time only, or do they have to book holidays off?
So an apprenticeship training programme, you're employed by the company. Your contract is an employment contract. So that is going to be 52 weeks a year, and it's going to be throughout, and you'll have holidays just as you would in a job. And then you'll come to college, and that could be that your college activity is during term time, but you'll be working in your employment contract. You're employed by the company, not by us.
Okay, shall we move to Julia? Thank you. Julia, we've got a question around ID badges. Why do we have them, and do we have to wear them?
Yes, we ask you to wear ID badges at all times when you're in college. First of all, you'll need them to get to navigate your way around and to access around college. Secondly, it helps us quickly identify that you're an authorised person that's welcome within the college, and it makes us able to spot somebody that could be unauthorised, that may be trying to get into college. So yes, they are compulsory, and we do expect you to wear them at all times.
Okay, and they've said, is it the same with staff? How can staff members be recognised?
Yes, staff have ID badges as well, and we have different colours. So we have different lanyards. So the lanyard that they come on, we have a different one for students and a different one for staff.
Is there a prayer room on each campus?
Yes, there is. There is a prayer room, and we would help you. If you let us know on induction, we can show you where that is.
Okay, will all courses offered run from September? If there are only a few pupils, will the course still run or be moved to an alternative?
We would be expecting all courses to run, because we do a process which we call business planning, where we actually look at our curriculum planning, we look at our courses, and we only put on courses where we know we've got a demand, where we've got applications for them, or we've got continuing students. But I can't absolutely say for certain that something could happen where we end up where we haven't got enough, and we would then have to look at the best alternative, but it very rarely happens.
Okay, do we celebrate success through a reward system?
Well, there is no set official reward system, and I don't really know what that means, because the reward system is very wide, isn't it? But we do celebrate success. We have student awards evening. There'll be local things that happen in different curriculum areas of how they celebrate that, and we also will do that through their pastoral areas and through tutorial. So we always celebrate success with all of our learners. That is something that we really would lead by in those high aspirations.
There's a few people, Julia, asking about the White Kirklees College bus. I don't know of a White Kirklees College bus, do you?
No, I have never heard of a one either.
No, so I'm wondering if that's muddled up with a new college bus. However, there's a lot of questions about bus passes. Where can people find out about financial support and bus passes?
So the financial support, we have a bursary scheme that students can apply for, and it's based on family income. We also offer, as we've talked about, free college meals, which is similar to free school meals. And there is a page on our website that you can visit for more information. And there's also further information in the parents' guide that we've spoke about that you'll get regarding this, and this will be posted out in August.
Thank you. Does my child get a personal mentor if they're struggling?
Yeah, well, they'll have a tutor they'll have a progress coach, and they will who will be their mentor. And if they're struggling, we do have support as well outside of the classroom that they can access. There's always somebody to go talk to if they're struggling.
Okay. Are steel toe capped boots provided for construction courses?
Yes, absolutely. They would be part of the uniform where it's needed, the same in engineering and any other areas like agriculture or anywhere where it's again around health and safety.
Okay. If there's a problem with my child's coursework, will you notify me?
Yes, again, it will be done through the portal. You can have a look at that. You'll be able to track whether they're on in line with what they should be doing, but also we would be contacting you, inviting you in. And as I said before, we would welcome you coming to talk about that with us, because that is how we want to work in partnership with you.
Do students have assemblies?
No, we don't have assemblies, not like they are in school anyway, no.
Okay. Is there a restaurant canteen in the college?
Yes, we have both. We have a canteen where students can go every day. We have one on all of our sites. And then we have an actual college restaurant at the waterfront site, which is open to the general public as well, which is called Landings.
What kind of trips do students go on?
These can vary depending on the curriculum areas. We have some trips that are run centrally, which will just be to celebrate success, as we spoke about earlier. They could be going to Alton Towers or something, or to the seaside or something like that. But then we'll also have trips that will be around vocational interest within the curriculum areas, where they might be able to go to a conference, say, or to an exhibition that is around the subject area that they're studying.
We've got a couple of people asking about trips abroad.
Yes, we do some trips abroad. It depends what curriculum area you're in. But for example, in animal care, they go to Aruba. In sports, I can't remember, where do they go in sports now? Valencia. Yes. And we go to some great places, but not in every curriculum area.
Okay. How many exams do students sit?
This will vary depending on the curriculum area. In some curriculum areas, there may be no exams. It could be continual assessment. In other curriculum areas, it could be end of unit exams and assessments. They also have what we call endpoint assessments for apprenticeships. So that will be done at the end of their course, where they have to pass their apprenticeship, they have to do an exam. And all exams can be practical and written. So they're an assessment form that's in both practical and written. And then, of course, there's English and maths.
We've still a few more English and maths questions. If my child struggles, do they need to do GCSE, or can they do functional skills?
We would assess them to see what is better, but for young people, it is normally GCSE, because actually functional skills can be a lot harder. It's a different curriculum, it's a different format, and they're exam based now. They're not what functional skills used to be. And also it's what's recognised through the employers and through their career and through their lifetime. So the majority of the time, yes, it is GCSE, but we do have some exceptions.
Okay, we've got a few questions around English language and English literature. If students get a 4 in English literature, but not in language, do they still have to resit?
No, they just need a 4 in one of those areas. If they have a 4 in either English language or English literature, then they don't need to carry on with their English. They will carry on developing their skills, but they don't need to go to a formal English lesson and resit their GCSE.
Okay, do we have recreational areas for students?
Yes, we've got a gym at the waterfront site. At all sites, we have breakout areas that can have things like foosball tables in there. They can have snooker tables. And We have other different activities. We have lots of clubs that they can join. So there's a wide range of what we call enrichment that students can take part in.
Okay, do all students get to join the NUS?
I'm not sure about that. Pauline, do you know?
Yeah, they're all offered that membership. They all form part of the student union as they sign up into college, and then they can apply for an NUS card as well, and they'll be given support in their tutorials to do that so that they can access discounts.
Yep, so the answer is yes, all students can.
Okay, and sorry, I've just said there's still a few to go through. Bus passes, again, they can purchase when they enrol. What kind of equipment do you need?
It all depends what course you're doing. There'll be a different equipment that you'll need to do bricklaying than you would to do hairdressing. So it all depends on the type of course that you're doing, but you will get all that before the course starts, which will enable you to apply within the bursary if you need to, or purchase the equipment.
Do courses build enrichment into the timetable?
Yes, we do enrichment. It can be in the timetable as extra sessions. It can also be on days off that they could come in if they want to particularly join in on something, but there will be a lot of enrichment activities offered, and it's up to the student of which ones they want to engage in.
Okay. What sports teams do we have?
We have the main sports teams tend to be around football that I'm aware of for both girls and boys, that are the formal sports teams that we have within college.
There's also a rugby team that we work with Huddersfield Giants on, and there is a gym fitness club as well linked to the gym for students to get involved in. So just to clarify, resit sessions will be within the 3 days of college attendance. So my child will not be in college for more than 3 days a week.
No, we can't say that. They could be in over 4 days. It depends again on the individual areas on their timetables. And you will get they will get their timetable on the 1st of September. And it could be from 2.5 days up to 4 days, totally depending on the subject that they're doing.
We've got a question, do I have to pay fees for my young person's course?
No.
Is there a homework club?
No, not as such, but there again is there will be sessions that they can attend within the central enrichment team if they need, and we've also got the one-to-one sessions and tuition fund that will be able to help them to have that more time where they can have support in doing their homework.
Okay, Julia, there's a few people asking about how much bursary is. Do you know that, or do we direct to website?
I think we need to direct a website on that.
So if anybody's asking, there's a few bursary questions in there. If you go onto the website, there is a page for student finance, and there is bursary information on there. It is related to income, but there's also an email address if you've got further questions. What time does the site open and close for students?
The site is open quite early in the morning. Most students come from about 8 o'clock, and the site can open. We have late openings, so we have a couple of evenings a week when it will open till 9 o'clock at night, because some courses could be in the evening. It tends to be more the adult courses that go into the evenings, but there could be some 16 to 18s. Things like catering, you may stay in an evening, or otherwise most courses would finish around 5:30.
Okay, will the principal address students via Teams? Is Teams used a lot?
The principal won't really address the students via Teams, but the principal will walk around a lot and get to know students, as do all the senior leadership team. So we will all be walking around and we'll see you. And we also have duty rotas that are run by the staff and the senior leadership team, where we will do walk-arounds. But We do use Teams, and we use Teams for some lessons because we could have an online lesson. We might have a session that's online. We might have a special lecture that goes online. So yes, we do use Teams, but again, it varies depending on the curriculum area that you're in.
Okay, can Dewsbury students access Huddersfield facilities, e.g. the gym?
Yes, they can.
How about remote learning during strike days? How does this work?
Yes, we will have remote learning, not necessarily just during strike days, because often if there's a strike day, which we have had a few recently, but we have not cancelled any lessons and learning has not been disrupted. And sometimes we don't have to do that. Other times we do. And like I said before, some courses might have, so particularly if you're on a level 3 course, you may have a remote lesson. But again, that will be made clear when you get your timetable.
Okay. Is the college open on weekends for eager students?
No. Sorry.
Okay. Are students allowed to have ear and nose piercings?
Yes, and again, it will, you know, as a general rule, yes, they can, but there could be some courses they do which regarding health and safety, they may not be able to wear those piercings, or they may have to cover them up. So, for example, in catering, it may be that there's only certain types of jewellery that's allowed, and they may have to be covered up so we don't end up eating a stud or an earring that accidentally drops out or something like that.
Julia, I think a few people have missed the enrolment information. So can you just clarify when enrolment is, please?
Yes. Okay. So students will be emailed an enrolment link on GCSE results day, which is the 24th of August, to enrol. Links will go out through the day to stagger traffic to the website to allow that online enrolment. All enrolment will be online, and letters are posted out tomorrow, checking that we've got the correct email address for you. And then you will get a second letter just before enrolment with instructions on how to complete the enrolment.
Okay, thank you very much. There's some questions around Taylor Hill. I'm not sure, we might have to go to Pauline, I'm not sure if you can answer them. At Taylor Hill Centre, is my child able to bring in their own pet if they're doing dog grooming?
Yes, they are, but they wouldn't be able to bring the dog in every day to be with them in class, etc. But if they were actually going to do a practical in dog grooming, they could bring their own in to do it on their own dog.
And then there's another one around Taylor Hill, around what kind of animals are up there.
Okay, we've got a big range of different animals, and it depends. So we've got small pet handling animals, we've got exotic animals, and we've got a few. What I don't know what does anybody? I'll go to Pauline or you, Sally. What the bigger animals are?
We have small animals. We've got some pigs, some sheep. Not llamas, the ones that look like llamas. This is going to be killing the gentleman that's driving this because he's an ex-animal student and he can't speak. But there's lots of areas. There's also the reptile house, the aviary, and the aquarium up there as well. Okay, I've got another question. Is if my child's 17, do they have to pay?
No, education is free for 16 to 18-year-olds.
Okay, does the college celebrate cultural diversity?
Yes, yes, we do. We are very culturally diverse, and we will include students in those celebrations, and we definitely celebrate.
Okay, and then somebody's added, does this include Pride?
Yes, oh yes, definitely.
Okay, if my young person gets the grades for the course, is there definitely a place for them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, sorry, someone's just typed in there's a big animal, a cow. That's just made me giggle, sorry. So the next question is, if a student's on level 1, do they automatically progress to level 2?
No, not necessarily. Again, it's all assessed on whether they're capable of that progression. They need to obviously have passed their level 1 course, but also we will take into account their attendance, their punctuality, their behaviour, their attitudes. So it's a whole package, but we welcome and we hope that we manage to develop them to be able to progress to that level 2 programme.
Okay, and then there's another person saying that if I don't secure an apprenticeship, can I get on a full-time course?
Yes, we said you can yo-yo backwards and forwards from that. You can bounce on and bounce off, should I say. So if you don't start with an apprenticeship, keep looking, and if you find one, you can go on it. But there's a place for you on the 60 on the full-time study programme, providing we do have a full-time study programme in that apprenticeship.
Okay, and then someone is asking, is a level 3 course 2 years, or can they leave after 1 year?
It depends on the different area. Some level 3s are 1 year and some are level 2, depending on what you're studying. And if it's an apprenticeship, it could be 3 or it could be 4 years.
Okay, someone else is asking, are there small classes at lower level?
Yes, we do have at some lower levels, and particularly in areas like foundation, there will be smaller classes, yes.
Okay, there's a couple of people again saying if we don't get grades to meet the requirements, what happens?
So if you don't get the grades, then your enrolment letter will give you instructions, so don't panic. Call our enrolment helpline and the number will be in the enrolment information, and our curriculum team will be able to talk through alternatives for you, either at a lower level or another alternative for you. So don't worry about that. There is a place for you at Kirklees College. The main thing is that we get you on the right programme so that you succeed.
There's a question around community cohesion and do we work with outside organisations?
Yes, we work with a lot of organisations. We have a lot of stakeholders in a variety of different ways. So that can be in local pastoral ways, in enrichment ways, and employers, but we have loads of stakeholders, yes.
Okay. There's a question around getting involved in additional activities. Is it encouraged?
Yes, it is encouraged. It's all part of developing a young person and developing them to become an adult and to move forward and to become more employable. So yes, we do encourage it.
Okay. What's behaviour generally like in college?
Behaviour is very good in college. We have, like I say, a positive behaviour policy, and we call out poor behaviour. So it should be in line with experience of what it's like in schools, if not better.
Okay. There's a question around if I've got concerns about my child on their course, what do I do?
If you've got concerns about your child, then they will have a personal tutor and a tutor, and you just can get in touch. It will be in the parent carer handbook of what you need to do, or you can just ring into the main reception area and they will take a number. So there's always somebody to talk to you about your child.
Is bullying dealt with properly at the college?
Yes, we have a restorative practice model where we work with people, with young people, on ensuring that they understand the effects of bullying, and we deal with that in a very swift and correct way.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'm just going to do, there's a few that are around enrolment again. Thank you very much to everyone that's attended. We've actually had 194 questions typed in. So thank you, Julia and Pauline, you've done a brilliant job at ploughing through those. I'm just conscious of time. So there's a few people still asking what happens if we're on holiday on results day. Letters are coming out this week, they're being posted to tell you what happens at enrolment. If you are on holiday on results day, you just need to contact the applications team, but the information will be in your enrolment letters. We can only hold courses for places for so long, but if you liaise with the applications team, they can go through that process with you. I hope you all found this useful. For people who've typed in their individual questions requiring a response, we will get back to you on that. Thank you very much. A copy of this recording of the presentation will be placed on the college website and available to view from next week. And we hope to see you in September. Thank you.
Thank you, and we look forward to seeing everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.